Well, it's got from Wessex blades. You may notice, but a profound lack of hiss. I've gone and invested in a new camcorder. Hopefully the sound's getting thrown, because it's not as wide as the previous camera was, so I've got to get it a little bit further away. Anyway, just splashed out. Big docket here. There was a clearance, a British distributor called Tool Station, and I've got belts for my 4-inch there, and for the Aldi special down there. I'll just read the prices out. This is why I went for it. It's on clearance. Okay, 5 belts for my 4-inch. 5 belts. There you go. Cloth belt, 100 by 915. 100 by 915. 40 grit. 5 pack. £3.09p. 60p a belt. So they were on clearance. I've got a box like that full of them. And the other thing was I bought some nice abrasive wet and dry, which are having 1200 and 600 for my finishing on the block, because I gotta get Street Artist's Leuku finished. The thing, it's looking nice. Right, just so I can finish the blade off rather than trying to use that silly little disc thing. And the other thing I did was this. These were also incredibly cheap. A little 4-inch G-clamps, which means I could clamp up scales without losing the vice at that time. So I've got a little bit more flexibility. I've now got 6 G-clamps. So hopefully that little bit of investment will spur me on again. As you might have noticed, my production's gone up a little bit. I'm just trying to keep ramping it up. The main reason I've stuck with the machines I have most of the time is because I knew the belts were cheap, and there I am, lucky, someone had to clear it out, and I've just bought a huge box of the whole, just loads of it, and I've spent like £40, and I've got maybe 2 years worth of belts, I'm hoping. So let's crack on. Skål. What to do next? Oh, and epoxied that little bugger as well, downside there. Play with him and all. I just love knives. What? Knife. That's pretty close. He's a fair way away, that camera. Anyway, here's some 600 grit on a block. Allen Nebulax 123. So this is in 600. Now this is something that's not achievable in terms of grit on my 4-inch. The finest I can get for my 4-inch easily is a 120. When it's worn down, it comes across as about a 240. So this is like over twice the grit number. So half the grit size. So a far finer finish. It just allows me to get rid of those machining marks. And it doesn't really matter at this stage if I go backwards or forwards. I could actually just sit here quite happily doing that, because I'll always roll it back the other way in later on. And of course, if I go flat, I also finish the actual side of the blade off as well. For those lucky guys out there with your 2x72s, you're there laughing. I just put a 600 on. No, I put a Scotch-Brite on. Yeah, well. One fine day. Until then, this is my horsepower. Catch in a bit. I've had a real home city on this thing, on the old leather and paste. It's not the best steel in the world. I've managed to get the, it's hard to see with this light, awful light in there. Just terrible light. There. And it just about cuts paper now. Just about. Just about. So I'll try and crack on and make the sheath now, and then when I got more shoulders I'll carry on and hone it bit some more. It's pretty sharp, but the geometry of it, because it was a full flat grind to start with and you wanted a Scandi, I didn't want to go too, if you can understand, if you've got a flat slab body on your knife, to put a Scandi on it you still got a lot of stock, but this is a full flat grind, so I didn't want to put too much of a Scandi on, and I could have gone a little bit further. I'm finding I just don't want to overdo it, we'll end up such a thin amount of steel in there, and it's beginning to go a bit convex on the edge. So I'm gonna have another fiddle with that another day and crack on with the sheath when I got time. I have though put a very square section at the back there. Can you see that hump there? So a fire steel should strike off of that. That's quite square on those edges. I'll say the brass has come up with quite a treat. Quite a treat. But I say the light in this is awful at the moment. Not going to see the brass light. There he is. The usual long drawn out affair, but we'll get there. They say paper isn't the, you ain't quite at the paper cutting yet. Not quite yet. So crack on with that. Another time. Right. Fun time. bad for an old leaf spring. Should we play? Okay. The Thing. Still got a countersink now. Tidy him up a bit. Might be able to see that. Anyway. Soaking wet. It broadside, absolutely flat. Flat all there. Same again, broadside. Flat under there. Dead below. Look at them curls. That is unbelievable to use. Okay, so the Thing, crap light moment, I just lost a bulb, but there he is. Should be able to see it out there. So now it's at this stage, I'll crack on. I'll try and finish off the Berserkers for Rob, finish off the Leuku for street artists, and then we'll try and get some ferro rods out, and hopefully in a fortnight or so this one will be stropped to oblivion and we can send this on. But what I do is I just come out every now and again and strop it for an hour, and come out again and strop them for an hour. You know, if I had a Scotch-Brite belt for my stuff, it'd be a lot easier. But what I got, my finishing abilities here are rubbish, so it's all by hand. As I say, I've still got a countersink, those brass tubes, just so they look a bit more attractive. And then that'll be off on its way, hopefully 2 weeks. Thanks for joining me again. Let's go off my 6 blades with the Thing moved on. Cheers.